What are you solving for? What's the problem that you want to solve? And what's your desired outcome? And I guess I'll take this from the perspective of you already have your desired outcome. But changing circumstance doesn't always mean you get into your goal. So if you're overweight and your goal is to be fit, just going on a crash diet, you mightn't be overweight anymore, but you mightn't be fit. So if you have a goal, making sure you solve it correctly to get there is what I'm kind of going for. So that's like one example. Like if you want to lose, like if you're overweight and you want to be fit and you lose weight, like you go on a crash diet and you're no more fitter. Well, maybe you're a tiny bit fitter, but you're just lighter. So that you didn't actually you didn't get to your goal. Technically solve the problem. You changed circumstance, but you didn't solve the problem. That's not what you want. So you want to make sure you're solving for the right thing. So that's from like a fitness perspective. Let's take it from a business perspective. I want to be a millionaire in 5 years and a 100 billionaire in 30. I don't know if that's a realistic time frame, but basically, I want to be worth lots of money in a long time. The millionaire in five is just, I guess it's less important. But I want to be big money in a long time. So my goal, how I should solve for that, should not be something that relies on, I guess, things that would decrease my margin. So let me explain. If something is a shit product, I have low goodwill, I have low brand recognition, I have very high marketing expenses, I have like talent requirements. I have to have talent to run a successful business. Then I'm not going to be able to get to 100 billion. And even say that was a system possible of getting to 100 billion in 20 years, it wouldn't last 20 years because it wouldn't work. But if I want to become a 100 billionaire, what I should do instead is create goodwill, have a good brand recognition, create a really good product, and just work off referrals. Because that's compounding. If I sell a great product to 20,000 people, they go tell their friends. Now 20,000 people come back, or maybe 25,000 come back because they told a few of their friends. And now they go out, and now 30 come back, and then 40 come back, and then 50, and then 60, 75, 90, and like grows. And that's what I want for my goal as a long-term goal. So you need to solve your problem to get to your goal correctly. Make sure the thing you're doing to get there is actually the right thing you're doing. Another thing is don't be worried if you're doing the right thing, but it's not getting you someone else's goal. Let me explain this. Two examples, fitness and business. If your goal is to be as strong as possible, you want to be a powerlifting champ. When you see like some bodybuilding, you see people putting on lots of muscle, you're like, I want to be like that. Oh, I'm failing because I'm not looking like them. No, you're not. You'd actually be losing if you look like them. Because you might be worried like, oh, I'm a failure. I'm failing right now because I'm not putting on muscle. I should be putting on muscle. Well, actually, what's your goal? What are you solving for? Well, I'm solving to be stronger. Well, being bigger means you're stronger, but you want to be a powerlifting champ specifically, which means you need to be light and strong, which means you want to lift 3 times your body weight on the deadlift. So instead of trying to put on 10 kilos of muscle and then being a 2.5 times deadlifter, you want to stay at 70, but you want to bring up to a 3.1 or 3.2 times lift. So that's your actual goal, and you're actually solving towards it. And you shouldn't feel worse about not solving a fake problem. So if you're fit, and on the contrary, if you're a big muscly bodybuilder, when you don't see like someone else outlifting you, Larry, who's the skinny lad, who's lifting crazy numbers and he's lifting more than you, and you want to be a bodybuilder and you feel bad about yourself because you aren't able to lift that much, remember your goal and remember why you're solving it in this manner. Like why amn't I lifting that much weights? Why am I not doing that? Well, because if you were to do that, you'd have to sacrifice your goal. And you don't want to sacrifice your goal because that's your goal. Why would you do something that's not getting you to there? So that's the what problem you're solving for. So you need to take this. And when you look at something, go, I'm upset about this, and go, are you actually upset about? Because this can happen. Because I would be upset about myself, say, and it would be, I am not working. If I wasn't working towards my business at all, I wasn't taking any steps towards it. If I wasn't taking any steps towards it, then I reasonably, I'd be just in being disappointed. I'd be like, I haven't taken any steps towards better business. That's disappointing. But if I was disappointed in the fact that my business isn't on a short-term basis, like I see this with copywriters, and I'm starting out in copywriting, and my goal is to run a successful copywriting agency in 5 years. And I see people going like, oh yeah, 3 months in, sign my first 100, like €200 a month client, so proud. What I'd rather do instead of trying to make 200 quid now is learn as much as possible. Do 10 free clients. And when I get those 10 free clients, if I turn some of them into money makers, maybe. Or maybe they go, actually, I don't want to pay for your stuff. It's not this good. And I go, okay, I improve. And I go back, would you pay now? And they go, no, this is still a problem. Okay, and I come back and I improve. And for a year, I say earn minimally. Maybe this guy outperformed me. He's actually been earning 500 quid a month for 12 months. So he's at 6 grand. And then I come back and I'm at 2 grand. Because only for the past 3 months have people been paying me €700. And that might be like, oh shit, I'm behind. But I'm not. Because that's not my goal. And then actually, in year 2, he makes another 6 grand. And I make 100 grand. Just as an example. Because my goal is long-term success. And their goal is short-term success. And I think that's actually a problem. You need long-term thinking for big money. If you want to make short-term money, that's fine. It'll slowly increment. I want to sacrifice a lot, and boom. That's what I want. But you might just want, I'm happy with this. And that's what we're solving for. It's what your goal outcome is and how you plan to achieve that goal outcome. And it's not being disappointed when you're not doing something that isn't your goal. You shouldn't be upset. If your goal is to be muscular, you shouldn't be upset that you're not lifting enough. And if your goal is to be lifting, you shouldn't be upset that you're not big enough. And if your goal in business is to be long-term successful, you shouldn't be worried about short-term success. And if your goal in business is to be short-term successful, I don't know if it's a good idea. Personally, not my opinion. But if your goal is to make 100 quid now, or 100 quid next month, I think that kind of saps goodwill and you're not going to be very successful. But if you want to make money quick, and you want to constantly market, and you want to have to work for every bit of penny you make, maybe the system likes you. I don't understand why. Then maybe you don't care about goodwill. I do. I think you should. But maybe you don't. So that's the problem you're solving for. Make sure you're solving the right one. Like, that's it. I think I've capsulated all of that. I've given all the examples. If you want to be big and strong, or big and strong, then get big and strong, and don't worry about your like if your goal is to become big and strong and you just want to lift as much weight but not worry about how big you are, then get big. Like Eddie Hall was 196 kilos when he deadlifted 500. That's like a 2.5 times deadlift. There are people who lift 3 times as much, and their goal was to lift at 70 kilos, lift 260 kilos. And Eddie Hall goal was different. And Eddie Hall shouldn't be disappointed that someone else is getting a 3.5 deadlift and he's getting a 2.5, because that wasn't his goal. So staying true to your goals and solving them correctly. And when you're not solving them correctly, be disappointed. But when you are solving them, and other people have other goals that aren't yours and that you don't want, you shouldn't be disappointed that you don't have something you don't want. And that's applied to business too. That's just a fitness example because fitness is easy to explain in my opinion. But for business, if you want long-term success, it doesn't matter how much you make this month, as long as you're taking steps towards that long-term success. And if you want short-term success, I don't know why, you just want to make money now, then doing free clients is not a good idea to make money this month. But if you're doing free clients so you can make $1 million in 5 years, it's a good idea. So solve the problem correctly. And if you're not solving the problem correctly, be disappointed. And if you are, and someone else has a different goal, don't be. Yeah, that's the video. That's the value. Solve your problems. my video has solved all of your problems. No. Take a look at something, see how you want to solve it, and then go to it. How do you want it to be solved to benefit you? Just think about those examples for now. Anyway, if this video was beneficial to you, thank you for watching. If it was, like, subscribe, comment how amazing I am, and watch some other stuff that might also be beneficial for you.